Hey everybody, it's me, Jake, from Jakin.off. Thanks for tuning in to yet another episode. This week I am joined by my good friend, Zach Huber, everybody. Let him hear it. Make some noise for Zach. So excited to have him. Zach is a filmmaker originally from here in Kansas City. Lives in Los Angeles now, and you can follow him on YouTube and Instagram at Let's Goof. Highly recommend giving Zach a follow. And as always, you can check out this podcast on social media at jakin.off.podcast, both Instagram and TikTok. You can also email us at jakin.off.podcast@gmail.com. We'll look at it at least once, at least one time. That's the Jakin Off guarantee. But other than that, without further ado, everybody enjoy the episode. Have a nice listen to the episode. Dude, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, I do. It's just my goal. I just call them goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have a new goal this year, and I want to be represented by the end of the year. I want to get like a manager or an agent.
Oh, really?
Something like that. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
That's my goal.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hell
that's
yeah.
a big one.
I didn't know. I guess I never considered that filmmakers would have that.
Yeah, really more of like the upper creative side of the industry, like directors, actors, sometimes cinematographers, not really, but yeah, mostly directors and actors have them, and I would like to have one. It would be a lot easier.
Yeah, no, 100%. I just think of like, yeah, even for like this podcast, I would love to have somebody that like records the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, outsourcing anything is like so awesome, dude.
Oh yeah. And like, honestly, like I said this once, it's the silliest thing, but I'm kind of like, I just don't want to manage my own career. Like somebody could borderline come along and take advantage of me, because I'm just so bored with the career management side of things.
Yeah,
like, it's so tedious.
The business.
It's so boring. I hate it.
It is, dude.
I just want somebody to use what I've built.
And I feel like too, like, the thing about the business of entertainment is that it is pretty like slimy sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it can feel like pretty gross. It doesn't matter if you're like making films or doing stand-up comedy. Like, you've done both, and like, how some of the people in stand-up can be like,
oh my gosh, insane.
Dude.
Yeah.
Have you ran into any like, what is like the weirdest like film project that you've worked on?
The weirdest film project that I've worked on, like this year or just in general?
Just ever.
I mean, it's got to be the one I made in Dubai. Like, that was so strange.
Yeah, dude, I forgot. Okay.
Like the weirdest.
I forgot about this, actually. You gotta give me the rundown of like the general. One of the things that I remember is you told me is like the lady who was like starring in the movie. Mm-hmm. Was like she'd had a bunch of plastic surgery or something like that. So just give the rundown of the whole thing.
Well, she's, beyond all that, she's just like this very like Instagrammable, like almost like an Instagram filter of a person.
Yeah.
And so this is actually how it's crazy actually seeing it from my perspective. From their perspective, I'm sure it like kind of makes sense or whatever, but from mine it makes no, because I'm just an audio guy in Chicago at the time. I record audio for movies.
Yeah.
And my friend hit me up because this random guy was in a Uber in Chicago, and his like daughter lives there or something, and he was like, my second wife wants to make a movie, and so we're gonna make one, we're gonna do it. And they were like, oh cool, well my friend Austin.
Wait, are they like this person was like driving the Uber, or like they were in an Uber pool?
They were in an Uber with
like together
with the driver. They were talking to the driver.
Oh, it was the driver
is my friend. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay,
who makes the driver?
Okay, gotcha.
And so he's like, yeah, we can make the movie together. He's like, great, let's do it. And so
Wow.
He had to call like a bunch of other audio guys, I'm pretty sure, because he was like, Zach, you're like the sixth person I've asked. Everybody else has said no. Do you want to go to Dubai and make a movie? It sounds really weird. And I was like, absolutely, you picked the right person.
Dude,
I'm gonna get my passport and I'm gonna go to the United Arab Emirates, and we're gonna make this weird low budget movie that's about like Chicago gangsters, but it's set in like Chicago, but it's being filmed in Dubai for some reason.
That's
we
so
all
strange.
read the script for the first time on the way over there, and it was like all written in the third person. It was like it was so bad.
You guys read the script on the way there? Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, and we were all like, oh my God, this is so terrible, because they were saying things like, you can't do that to Big Tony doesn't allow that.
Dude, it's like when if you've seen The Sopranos,
literally,
when Chris Moltisanti is writing his screenplay, or whatever.
It was just like so silly. And so the special effects supervisor actually decided that he was just gonna like rewrite it all. He was like, I could do better than this. And we were all like, I'm sure you could.
Serious? Yeah, dude. That's so crazy.
And so he did it, and he got there, and the guy who's running the movie, he's just like such a business dude that he was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just upend this whole thing, and let's do what you said instead, because you got gumption. You know, he just loved his like passion and zeal or whatever.
So this guy from a plane ride, he went from like special effects supervisor
to basically director. Yeah. Yeah. And so we did his movie, but the problem is that all these people were non-actors, so just people that this guy knew, and they were all non-native English speakers, but they were doing an English movie. And so all the lines that they had literally spent months trying to memorize because they don't understand English as their first language were all thrown out.
Yeah.
And so now they had to rememorize them all on the fly. And it was insane. It was crazy. There was like a Russian guy who was Big Tony, and he had like the thickest Russian accent. But he was Big Tony the Italian.
Can you watch the movie anywhere?
I saw it once, but then it disappeared mysteriously off of Google Drive, and I don't know what happened to it, but I wish I could still watch it.
Oh, dude.
It's such a trip. It actually is like, the people, I'll say, like, because, you know, if people see this online, they're like, a lot of my friends are filmmakers who worked on it with me, you know?
Yeah.
We did a great job.
No, it
like,
sounds like...
It was an amazing looking, sounding...
Dude, well, what I will
like,
say is...
well-executed movie.
Because like I said, I didn't remember, like, all the details, but I do remember you were like, you had a ton of fun.
Oh, I had
you
so
were
much
having
fun.
a fucking blast.
And all these people that I'm like lightly talking crap on right now, I love all of them. I
yeah,
had such a blast.
Yeah.
Such nice
it was
people.
Just crazy though.
They told me at the end of it, they were all so excited that we had actually made it through, because it was like way harder than any of them like thought it could possibly be.
Yeah.
And so they were all like, we were all drinking and stuff, which is like illegal there. I probably shouldn't be saying that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we weren't. But
you're out of the country, dude. You're fine.
Yeah, you're right. I'm still scared sometimes. I'm like, what do they know? You know, like, do they have like a tracker on me? So that country is weird.
What was like the weirdest thing that happened to you there? I think you told me about like a car crash that you saw.
Oh yeah, that was pretty weird. I saw a hit and run while I was there. A person in a Mercedes just plowed into the back of a Honda with like 6 people in it. All 6 of the people got out of the tiny little Honda. They were like all holding their necks like, oh my God, oh. And they like pulled his license plate out of their car because he had hit them so hard, like literally going like 70 miles an hour, that his license plate was left in their car. And they started cheering. They were like, woo! Yeah, we got him.
Oh, dude, that's fucking crazy, man.
Oh, yeah.
So what was like,
can
you give us like just sort of like a plot summary of the movie though? Like
plot summary of the movie. Yes, I can easily give that to you. Okay. So, this lady who is extremely attractive has a husband who's a lazy goof who gets fired from his job. Yeah, and he doesn't want to get another one because he's just so silly. He's just like a little man boy. He just wants to float around in the pool.
Right.
And so she has to go get a job, which is like, ridiculous.
Yeah,
because like
bullshit. She's hot. She's a hot lady.
Yeah, and they live this high end lifestyle. She shouldn't have to make all the money.
What are you gonna make this hot lady work?
Yeah, no, of course not. But she has to. Okay, so she goes to get a job.
She's gotta,
and it's at a law firm, and so she's gonna like be the receptionist or whatever. But surprise, no, she's not, because they're not just a law firm. They're a gangster mob, and they start hiring her as an assassin.
What?
And so she just starts assassinating a ton of people and gets really good at it. And she can't leave the game because she loves it so much. And she, I think, falls in love with Big Tony. I don't know, but she's like not satisfied with her husband at all. She pushes him in a pool in slow motion at one point. So she's just
he's not a gangster, dude.
No, he's just a wimp. You know?
He's some wimp.
Who's actually probably one of my best friends on the movie. He was so funny.
Really?
Yeah, his name's Abi, and he's hilarious, dude. He's actually a really funny guy. I really liked him.
That's awesome, dude. That sounds like such a cool experience, though.
It was really cool. It was wild. I can't believe it. I always tell people, like, if you ever want to go to Dubai, go with a really rich person. Because that is the best way to enjoy it. I mean, laws don't exist if you're there with a rich person. You know?
Really?
Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
I mean, for the most part.
Sounds like somewhere else I know of.
Yeah. Everyone's got their price.
What was what were some of the things that you guys were able to do since you were there with the rich person?
He imported his own like alcohol and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And also, I mean, he took us to all the nicest places. Like the first day we were there, we went to the literally the biggest hotel there that has this massive horse racing track out of it, like outside of it. And it has a whole gold like smoking room that's completely ordained with gold, like gold books and everything on the shelves and stuff. And he got us all like hundreds and hundreds of dollar steak dinner, each and every one of us, like all 30 of us.
Wow.
And just it was the greatest meal I've ever had in my life.
Was it was really good.
Yeah, they had this weird charred like tomato that like exploded on top. Like you were supposed to pick it up and like drop it, and it like exploded. On us.
Oh my god, dude!
That's awesome.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude. I mean, like those, like there are like a lot of like very, very wealthy people in those countries too. Like
insanely. I mean, this guy he literally like cleans oil waste. So like.
Yeah.
Hey, his company that he owns.
If there's one thing I know about oil, quite a lot of waste.
Yeah,
quite a lot of waste.
A lot of money that can go into taking care of that. You know, so
right.
He does that, and then he's on a board of a bank in New York.
Oh,
he does both of those things.
Wow.
Normally,
is he
one
American?
of those things would no, he's not.
Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
It was honestly one of the wildest trips I've ever been on. It was so sick, long, dude. Too. It was like a 18-day trip.
That's crazy.
Which was really, really long.
Yeah. So you guys get there, you shoot the movie. Like, what was sort of like the toughest part about shooting the movie?
The toughest part was that labor laws don't exist there in the same way, and they have a ton of indentured servants that are basically doing like awful work all the time, and so they have very poor standards for how we should have been treated as the crew. And so we had to work like 16, 18 hours every single day because honestly, like we changed the script last second, and all these people that memorized their lines couldn't say them anymore, and so it was taking forever to shoot. So
it made
made the shooting process take forever.
But it probably made the movie better.
Yeah, I mean, easily. We'll say that. It was never going to be good. Sometimes you I've worked on so many movies at this point. Like, there's some of you just like, yeah, I'm just a crew member on this one. Like, I got no skin in the game. I don't believe in it. Like, I don't have to.
That's got to feel kind of nice sometimes.
It's kind of amazing when you remove yourself from it, because inevitably, if you don't do that, there will be a project where you give yourself to it and you're like, oh my God, I got to give myself to it. And then there'll come a time where you realize it's not yours, and it's really not, because you're not the person that's putting the money up for it. You're not the producer, you're not the director. And then they make a decision that you wouldn't have made, and you're like, oh, now after I've put all this time and effort into it, I feel lost. Like, I feel like, like I lost my creative skin in the game or whatever. I don't know. I'm being a little dramatic, but there's always a deflating moment sometimes.
No, but that makes sense though. That's interesting to think about, is like, if you're, just the audio guy or like something on this movie, like, and you get a little like too caught up you get a little lost in the sauce. And you're like, it becomes like a passion project for you as well, but you don't have as much of a say.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be kind of tough.
It's really tough. Yeah. Especially if you're like me, which is like, I'm an audio guy, but I'm moonlighting as one.
Right.
It's
It's not what you want to actually do.
I don't take a ton of joy in mixing the best movie ever, although I am pretty good at it. So.
Well, you gave me a lot of tips for this podcast that have helped me immensely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that you know what? I'll say it. You know, Jakoff Nation owes a lot to you.
Well, I'm glad that you brought this up because for a long time, I've actually wanted to like see, is there like a mayor of Jakoff Nation? Is there like a board of governors?
No.
Is there a way?
There is no government.
Okay, because like
everyone, it's self-rule.
Oh, nice.
Everyone rules himself.
Well, then I'll just consider myself a community leader.
There you go. That's perfect.
In Jakoff Nation.
That's exactly what that's the highest achievable rank.
Oh, sick.
Is community leader. Except for being me.
Well, of course.
Jake.
Yeah. There's going to be one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the one.
But I'm not so much like like a dictator or anything. I'm just clearly people look up to me.
Yes.
They say we should make decisions based off things that this guy says.
We just look so wise.
Yeah, because my hair is turning gray.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that, but...
Yeah. Dude, I saw this article today about this lotion that is attracting giant spiders to people.
Really?
Yeah.
In what part of the world? Any part of the world? Like
America.
It doesn't matter where you... Oh, wow.
They're like wolf spiders. So like I think wolf spiders are kind of like all over the place.
But they are pretty big. They're huge.
They're pretty big. And so the whole deal, I guess, is this cream allegedly is it's not allegedly. This is what it's called. It's called the Sol de Janeiro Delicia Drench Body Butter. Ooh. And something about this cream, something about the ingredients, something about the smell, I don't know, but like all these people are coming forward and being like, I love the cream, like it smells amazing, like it feels so good, like it's a really nice cream, but when I put it on, it's like attracts spiders. Like I see wolf spiders every day when I put it on.
That's so strange.
Isn't that scary, dude?
That's really weird.
It's really
what if it's
fucked
got
up.
like like what if it's just like contaminated with like one big mega wolf spider queen's like weird like juices or something?
Yeah,
they're
like some pheromones
or something, some terpenes.
Whoa,
or like,
some terps.
Some terps.
The cream's got too much terps in it.
Yeah. Does it have CBD in it? Because that could be the issue. Maybe the spiders are just trying to get
No, dude. It is like it is like a beauty cream product. Like, and it's funny because it first came up in an interview, or not an interview, in a review. And this started when one person wrote a review saying the product, which retails for $22 to $48 online and in Sephora stores, which I thought was like a pretty big gap. I'm like, $22 to $48?
Yeah,
like
somebody's
gouging. Yeah, it ranges from 22 to over double that. And
yeah, how do you like spend that? You're like, this cream definitely will not attract spiders. You're like,
yeah,
guaranteed.
If you pay $22, you might see some spiders.
Okay, I can't guarantee they won't be there.
Yeah, the $22 doesn't block. It's not the spider blocking kind.
Yeah,
that prevents the attraction of spiders.
Honestly, maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're just trying to create a new market for their $44 lotion.
Yeah,
and so they're just like really.
They're like, oh, I guess we can't make this cheaper stuff because it attracts wolf spiders. Spider. But this review, this is where it first cropped up, is someone said, if you're scared of wolf spiders, watch out for these lotions, laugh out loud. I wanted to love them so bad, but one of the ingredients is like, when I put it on, instantly one will come out. Normally I see one every like 3 years. What? Use this, and it was every day. I stopped using it, and I haven't seen one since. The 1-star review reads. And then they went on to say, oh, and one time the spider wanted to eat whatever ingredient it is so bad that it chased me. I swear on everything. I'd run left. It ran left. I ran right. It ran right. It was like it was legit following the scent. And no, the scent isn't that good. Nothing a $5 vanilla cream can't match. So yeah, do be careful if you're frightened of spiders, especially the big wolf ones.
Wow, that spider didn't know how to take no for an answer. It made him feral, dude.
Yeah.
That scent doesn't just attract spiders, it makes them absolutely feral for you, dude.
So crazy. It's frightening to think that, like, you could buy a cream at the store that could attract spiders on accident. Like, I don't like spiders very much.
Like, what are all the other creams that I'm using attracting that I don't even know it's attracting right now?
Yeah, that's a good point, dude.
If this cream can attract spiders.
Do you see a lot of stuff? A lot of one type of thing?
Now that you say it, I do see a lot of dead people. I see them all the time.
Zach, your cream is attracting ghosts. Zach's got ghost cream. But dude, yeah, I guess this post it birthed a handful of reviewers who have written similar claims on the Sephora website. I like the smell and the consistency, one reviewer wrote. However, every time I've worn this, I've noticed spiders. The reviews are so funny. If you're a fan of soft, hydrated skin with a tropical scent that screams vacation, and then in parentheses, and spiders, then this is the cream for you. Had to call multiple people because I can't even sleep in my own house anymore. There is a literal family of wolf spiders living in every room in my house.
Jeez. That's insane. You know, I can't help but think, because I'm just like in the film and marketing world too much, I'm like, this has to be some elaborate marketing plan. Like, the marketing team got the lotion. They're like, this is some unremarkable $44 lotion. How the fuck are we going to get people to pay for it? Oh, we're going to make it attract spiders so that people will leave weird reviews about it, so that people just have to buy it to see if it attracts spiders.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to make like cream for people who are fans of spiders, like want to collect them.
Yeah.
What are bug collectors called? Entomologists?
Yes.
Or something, right?
No,
Isn't it something
called.
like that?
Yeah, they're called
Yeah,
entomologists.
dude. Yeah, and that's what their cream is actually for. They're trying to make a brand pivot.
Honestly, that would be
Like,
good.
we
want
to get out of this. We want to get out of the skincare game and into the entomology game.
It's an untapped market.
Who likes spiders? Who likes spiders? Make some noise. Beep, 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 beep. They're like at a conference.
Honestly, if I was this lotion company, I would not be discouraged. I would be like, wow, we have something far more powerful than mere lotion on our hands right now, you guys. This stuff has the power to harness spiders. Like,
yeah,
what are we going to do with it? You know?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
We should sell it to the military or something. You know?
Yeah, dude. They start dropping it out of airplanes onto just whatever country. The Middle East has been overrun with wolf spiders.
One reporter says it's because of this lotion.
The goop planes were flying overhead, dropping spider lotion all over the Middle East. Carpet goop. Carpet gooping the Middle East.
That's probably what they would call it.
Carpet gooping. But they're just like, I'm imagining they just have like a big like the whole of the plane is just full of lotion. And you know how like in old like World War II videos they like open up and all the like individual bombs are like falling out?
Yeah.
It's like that, but instead it's just like a big glob of lotion. Yeah, and they drop that on there.
A ton
and
of
then,
little tiny spider parachutes.
yeah, yeah, and then the spiders like all see it in the sky and are like running towards it, and then they just
Could you imagine a blanket of spiders
bite
just
all the terrorists.
flying down? That would be actually horrible.
That would be frightening,
Yeah. Wow.
dude. So it is a pheromone, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It says there is a 2-component female-produced pheromone of spider. It basically signals for sexual communication.
Oh.
The chemical analysis reveals that farnesyl acetate, disobutyl phthalate, and hexadecyl acetate of the spider webs exhibited higher relative abundance in sexually receptive females. Also, 2 choice behavioral assays verified that the blend of farnesyl acetate and hexadecyl acetate attracted males.
Wow, spiders
So they
really know how
are,
to
dude.
talk dirty, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that is some good dirty Hand me the familial spidey.
yeah.
Babe, can you get the formaldehyde out of the closet?
Hey, pass me the hexadecyl acetate. I need a hit of that so I can get horned up. That's what they sell in spider truck stops. Is like little pills.
Yes. Of this stuff.
What would they call it though? They wouldn't call it horny goat weed. They'd be like, "This is horny ant weed."
Yeah, because spiders probably have a weird relationship with ants.
Yeah, they like herd them.
Oh yeah.
Herd them around.
Oh, nice.
Into their webs.
That kind of makes sense, I guess.
Kill them.
Oh well.
Suck their blood out, dude. They eat them from the inside out.
Now I'm scared of spiders too.
No, dude, don't be. Yeah. Unless you're an ant and you have something to tell us. Dude, I did such a bad job of getting topics this week. I didn't.
Well.
That was the only one that I got because I was such
really
a stupid piece of shit.
Yeah.
It is a really good one. But I just feel like you and I, we go way back, Zach.
We sure
and
do.
we have a lot to like. We just have so much shared history.
I know.
Because we've known each other now for 10 years. Almost.
Oh my God, it's crazy to think that much time has passed.
Isn't that wild?
That we've been doing
I remember the first time that I met you was at Stanford and Sons Comedy Club. And like, it would have been like 2013.
Yeah.
And I was like...
The one out at Zona Rosa?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I swear, dude, it was at Zona Rosa.
Yeah, I swear to God.
No, yeah. And I remember because I was 19 years old. And I was like obviously very insecure. And you showed up and you were up right before me at the open mic. And I was like, "Oh, what's up, man? Is it your first time?" We were sitting right next to the stage. And you were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, like I don't remember how you, but you said like, yeah, well, I figure you're either going to bomb or you aren't," which is like normal, like a normal regular thing to say. But like me and my like twisted brain, I was like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." But I only done like comedy for like 2 months or something like that. Like I was like, "Dude, you don't know shit."
No, but you know what? There is something there with like actually having gone up on stage and talking to somebody who's never done it before for the first time. Like there is a little bit of like, even though you've only done it for a little bit, there is a little bit of jadedness of like, I've already made it through these horrible trenches, which have not been great for me so far.
Yeah, I was still in it, dude.
Yeah.
But I think too, though, like now, as time has gone on, like whenever people are like, "Oh, like I can't imagine," I'm like, dude, it's actually pretty fucking easy. Like it's actually like not that hard. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's
because all you really have to do to like be okay at stand-up comedy is like be a likable person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Even if you're a terrible like joke writer or whatever, like if you just are likable, then people will still like be polite and laugh at your stuff. 100%. You know what I mean? And then you can get the joke writing and like the performance stuff down later, but it just is like
at first,
you can get like such a big leg up on people by.
Dude, that was like something that honestly, I'll just say, like I think you did well. People really liked you a lot when you first started. You were like a really well-liked person.
Yeah, not anymore.
Younger, you know?
No, I'm just joking.
Lost that. I mean, you really fucking shat that bed.
Yeah.
But no, I think that like does help a lot. Like because I don't know, you could probably speak to this better than I can, but like that probably just gets you more opportunities in the beginning and allows you more chances to try and fail, which is really the only way to learn how to do that.
No, 100%. It gets you more opportunities. I was more meaning though just to like an audience, like being able to like stand there and like talk about things in a way that will make people not hate you.
No, for sure.
Or like make people like want to like listen to you or something like that.
Yeah.
Just being like slightly interesting and like seeming like normal.
Yes.
Is like it goes such a long way. But like a lot of people like do this thing where they're like, I gotta stand out. Like I gotta be like the craziest like guy here,
I gotta be the loudest
like, whatever
one.
Like you know what I mean? And that's always just so weird. Like it doesn't work.
You can feel a little uncomfortable too when those people take the stage and everybody in the room is like bracing themselves a little bit. Like
it's like you're trying too hard, dude. Like it's nothing is less funny than trying to be funny. I think, like,
or not being able to read the room, because that's like the whole point of being a stand-up comedian. I always liken it to, like, it's like if you're having a big conversation with all your friends, and like, you tell like one friend a story differently than you might tell another friend, because like what they think is funny and like their personality and things about them.
Right.
But stand-up is just like doing that for a group of people, like live in front of you. Like, you're figuring out like how they like to be talked to, and like how they like to have stories told to them.
No, 100%. I do think that, like, one thing that a lot of like newer comedians do that I think is like bad is, like, they have this mindset of like, oh, well, like, I'm just gonna go up there and like say my jokes, and if they don't like it, they can fuck off. And it's like, that's a bad way to approach it. Like, that's not, or like, I hate when people are like, I don't care if anybody likes me. It's like, well, I do. Like, I want people to like me, dude. What? Yeah. Like, well, that's
ideally,
say,
you
like,
could say jokes and people would also like
it. Dude. And that's the other thing too, right? Is like, it creates this like dynamic, or like, I hate when comedians are like I heard comedians in like documentaries and shit before be like, it's a war. It's a war with the audience. I'm like, I don't feel that way. That's not how it feels to me.
It's a strange way to take it.
Yeah, like,
I guess maybe they're the type that get beers thrown at them and stuff.
Yeah, or like,
some of those are crazy.
Like insult comics or something like that.
That is like a war with the audience if you're just insulting them.
Yeah. Hey, look at this fat fuck. You fat fuck.
Why are they always so mad at me? Every audience wants to fight me. I don't get it.
People are too sensitive these days, you fat pig. Man, nobody likes the old style of comedy where we went on stage and we told it like it was. If there was a fat bitch in the audience, we called her a fat bitch. Like, yeah, dude, sorry it's not the fucking 80s or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that time in comedy is over.
Yeah,
the 80s, honestly, looking back, because I love the history of art, just any art form. And just looking back at the 80s of comedy, God, it seemed absolutely unhinged and insane.
Dude, it does. So wild. It drives me crazy too, like, because, like, don't get me wrong, like, I have, like, a lot of, like, respect for, like, the people who like made the art form of stand-up like what it is today. But I do feel like there's like this sort of like nostalgia about some of that like era of comedy that I like don't really get. I'm like, dude, like, I feel like people do with like Sam Kinison a lot. Is like a guy who I'm like, I don't think that guy is funny. You know what I mean?
I don't either. Yeah.
It's just not good.
It's not.
And I understand that maybe, it's like a vibe or whatever. There wasn't as much on TV. Like, people just, that's like really what I chalk it up to, is I think people had just seen so much less back then that they didn't have as refined of a taste as we do now. And they like, everybody had more lead in their system and shit.
He's like the poster child for that.
Yeah, just lead-addled fucking psychopaths, like, all in an arena, like, wow, do the one about Africa.
Singing Cat Scratch Fever.
Yeah. And I do think that, like, people have like this sort of like nostalgia, and I do get being like, well, like, he was really good, like, at that time, like, he was the most famous one, and there is something to say for that, but at the same time, I'm just like, dude, we can still be like, it's just not good.
There's tons of great artists whose art isn't like forgettable 20 years or 40 years after their heyday, like his art, like, let's be honest, is like wildly forgettable.
Yeah, it's not the same as like Richard Pryor or like George Carlin.
I don't even think it was innovational for the time, really.
No, neither do I.
And so at that point, it's like, I don't know, like, how do you expect that kind of stuff to even stand the test of time?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I just, dude, fucking sometimes comedy is like so. Because I feel like comedy, well, with any art form, like, people can really get up their own ass about it. Yeah. But I just know the most about the way people in comedy get up their own ass about it. Like, there's like this whole like movement of like like we're the new philosophers is like a phrase that people have said like earnestly. And that shit is so stupid to me.
I think it's
like,
so silly too.
it's
Anytime
so
people tell
dumb.
me that, like, because people outside of stand-up will say that too, like people that just really like it and are passionate about
Yes,
it, and they
yes.
find out that I used to do it, and they're like, "Oh my god, you guys are like the last philosophers," and I'm like,
Yes.
"Skirt, stop right there."
Yeah, I'm like, no way,
you
dude.
have never. When was the last time you met a local comedian?
Yeah,
I'm like,
go
yeah.
to an open mic and see how you feel about free speech.
Literally.
I'm telling you, dude, nobody would believe in free speech if they went to more local comedy open mics.
Yeah.
They'd be
Well,
like, we got to actually arrest everyone that says anything that we disagree with because this is getting out of hand.
This is getting wild. And that's the thing that they always do is they're
Yeah.
like, well, our big philosophy is that you should be able to speak freely.
Yeah.
And so it's always
Yeah.
some weird person who just like wants to be, and I think you have a funny joke about it.
Yeah.
But that's I feel like the reason that's honestly so funny is because it feels so true. Like anytime somebody
Yeah.
says that, it's just like, you know, they're gonna be like,
Yeah. I think I have it on Instagram. It's like I think you're meaning like the one of like people. Anytime somebody says it's a free country, it's right before they do some terrible shit.
Yeah.
Like they do something bad, which is like true. And it's the same thing with like free speech stuff. They're like, I'm gonna say what I want. And then it'll be some shit that like you're like, nobody wanted you to say that. Like, shut the fuck up. You know, you're stupid.
You're gonna probably not even like want to say that in the
Yeah.
future. You know,
Yeah.
like some of the things that people say, especially when you're young and you're doing stand up.
Oh my god, dude. Thank Christ I started stand up. I like think about it all the time, dude.
Yeah.
If I would have started stand up comedy like now, I think that like I would have. Well, I probably would like think differently, but like, dude, I said some fucked up stuff on stage, like that would have gotten me like canceled. And granted, I was like a young kid or whatever.
Yeah, trying
But,
to
like,
fit in.
Yeah, people would have been like now people would be like, that guy sucks.
Yeah,
I would
then it
think
have
that
to follow you around forever.
I would think that about myself.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I'm not like proud of most of the jokes I wrote the
Yeah,
first year and a half
same.
that I did stand
Yeah.
up. Like
I don't think that anything I did was like nothing was like unforgivable or anything like that. Like I never like hurt anyone or something like that. Like
you don't.
I just
attack
maybe
people
did
with
some
your stand-up.
did some jokes that were like, you know, in poor taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had horrible like joke, like just like actually like beyond like whether it's like bad to say or like, you know, like
Yeah.
get canceled to say it, like poorly written, horrible,
Yeah.
unfunny things
About
just
like very
completely-
serious.
Yeah, like trying to
like-
have a take on something but actually not saying anything.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Just the worst writing you've ever read in your life.
Buzzwords, dude. Like I feel like that's such a thing in comedy though. Like people get tripped up on like buzzwords. Like I feel like one of the things now that has been really big is like people trying to do like jokes about trans people and stuff like that, which like, you know, dude, for me, like I would never do jokes about trans people just because like I don't know anything about that really. Like I just like don't have, you know, I have trans friends, but like I just don't have experience with that. Like it's not my lane.
Yeah.
But like I think that it's like okay to like try a joke about anything, but like to me it's just a lot of times I see people do that. It's just like it's like, oh dude, you guys are just kind of like hopping on some bandwagon kind of shit. Like,
or it just again shows like that they just aren't reading the room or the situation right.
Yeah.
Because like, yes, you can say whatever you want, but if you don't realize how it's being perceived by people and how it looks coming out of someone who looks like
Right.
you, who looks like you, how it
Yes.
comes looking from someone like
Yes.
that, if you're not aware of that and
yeah.
like using that, like
Yeah.
as then you're already failing.
Dude.
Like you're already like unaware and you're
Yes.
saying something probably that you're gonna regret.
Preach. The number one thing I feel like with I feel like this is probably true in any art, but like especially performance art and especially stand-up comedy is like self-awareness, dude. Like you have to be aware of who you are, the way you look to other people, the way you like other people might be perceiving you. And then you have to use that to inform how you say what you say. You know what I
100%.
mean? Like it's one of like the most key ingredients I feel like. And it takes a long time to figure that out. I think that that's kind of like a big part of, you know, the like, quote unquote like finding your voice or whatever kind of thing, but it takes like a while to like get a grasp of like who people, because it's not just about who you think you are, it's about what other people think of you. It really is like about that. And like
100%.
you know, you can figure out ways to like help to like put the image of yourself that you want into those people's heads. Like you can do that, you know what I mean? But you just have to know what it is first. 100%. And that requires like so much self-awareness.
So much, because it isn't just a written art form. It's not just like reading out the jokes that you writ. It's also visual. People are watching you perform it. It can be visual, and so many comedians take it to that place. You know? I remember hearing people, this was when I started getting really nerdy about it, I was like, oh, there's a good and a bad side of your face. Like you can use different sides of your face to like say things differently. And have it be perceived differently. You know, like this is kind of a sillier looking side of my face. I used to think about it all the time. The
right side of your face.
Yeah, the right side of my face is a little sillier looking. Like I don't know why I think it looks sillier. You know,
that's funny. I've never thought about that with
this
my
would be
own
like
face.
my good side. You know, if I was taking a photo, I would like
turn to the right, line, so your left side was. There you go. Okay, that makes sense. Dude, maybe I gotta check out my face more. Which side of my face do you think is?
What side is your good side? I would say maybe the left side too. Maybe that's the silly side. Let's just say silly side, good side. That's the good side. That's the silly side.
Okay, left silly, right side good.
I think so. Yeah, you have two good sides, man. You got a great jawline, dude. And good flow right now.
Wow,
too.
dude.
We got
the hair, dude.
You know, you've got.
I'm growing it out. I'm trying to get it like I want it to be like shoulder length, like close to maybe like the length of your hair, dude.
Definitely.
I'm going for it. Yeah.
Go for
My hair is really thick, so I'm like, and it kind of is like wavy.
Nice.
So I'm trying to just like take good care of it and not like, I don't know. My dad's hair fell out when he was like a teenager, so I'm just happy. And my brother's hair is falling out now.
Too many parabens.
Yeah, dude. Too many parabens.
You just gotta get that good soap, dude.
That's so funny. I'll see like paraben free shampoo and I'll be like, oh, good, it's paraben free. But like, I don't know what a fucking paraben is.
You get it out of a dumpster. You like just pull it out. Oh, good, it's paraben free.
Perfect, paraben free shampoo.
And only 97 cents. Perfect.
Yeah. That's so funny. How long did it take you to grow your hair that long, dude?
Honestly, my hair grows really fast. So this probably took like a little like less than a year.
Damn.
Maybe like, but I never cut my hair very short. I feel like you cut your hair way shorter than
I haven't cut it for a few months now.
So that's also a factor too, because I don't really cut mine that short ever.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, this podcast is about hair now.
You should get a hair sponsor.
Dude, we could. Yeah. Hey, Manscaped. You wanna
get on over here.
Hey, you want to trim my pubes? hey, Manscaped. If you want me to trim my pubes, you're gonna need to invest some money in jaking off.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, listen to that too, jaking off. Like, I mean, it just makes so much sense for you to have a Manscaped partner.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, if Manscaped ever sponsors this podcast, I'll shave my pubes and post a picture of it.
Nice, and don't shave.
I'll shave their logo. I'll shave their logo into my pubes, and then I'll post a picture of it. Yeah,
you'll be like ZZ Top.
Yeah,
you know, like people will be like, "You're the guy with the really long pubes." You know?
Yeah, it's coming out of the bottom of my
braid it and stuff.
Yeah. It's like running into my like leg hair and like foot hair,
nice. Dude. It turns into a sock.
Yeah, that'd be tight, dude. Like a hobbit.
Yeah, and now you're just literally like reverting back in like to like your primitive state.
Yeah, Bigfoot.
Yeah, you're turning into a
Sasquatch.
Bigfoot. Honestly, you could cosplay as a good Bigfoot.
I could be a good Bigfoot.
If I saw you at night in the woods, I'd be confused. I'd pull out my phone.
Did I ever tell you about the Bigfoot meeting that I went to?
I know you told a joke about it, but I didn't know it was like true that you.
Yeah, it's real. I really went to it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I went to so my boss at my old job, who's also my friend, great guy. When I started working there, he like slowly like revealed that this guy that he knows, who for what it's worth to like this entire story, seemed like a really nice guy. He was like a cool dude or whatever. I don't want it to sound like I'm talking too much shit. But he was like, yeah, I go to this group. They meet like every month, and basically like this guy who he lives in our area, like the KC Metro area, but he owns like a piece of land somewhere else that has like an old like farmhouse, and like it's like a big farm and stuff.
Okay.
And this guy believes that there is a family of Sasquatch that live on his property, like, and it's close to here. I think it's in like Missouri or something.
Wow.
And he's like kind of an expert. Like, he is considered an expert. He has the most casts of Sasquatch footprints like in the world. Like, he's taken the most casts of what
Sounds
are
like the foremost expert.
allegedly Sasquatch footprints in the world. And they go on like, they go squatching, like they go looking for him and stuff. But they also like investigate like paranormal stuff too. So like they did a ghost investigation at his farmhouse and stuff, and you know, they do all kinds of stuff
Sounds
at the meetings. So like, to give you an example, like at one of the meetings, I was told, so like they would do a thing where you would go in another room and like put on a blindfold and put on like noise canceling headphones so you couldn't hear anything, and then everybody else would sit in another room and like would be focusing on a picture and trying to like telepathically communicate it to you in the other room. and like then like after like a certain period of time, they'd have you come back in and see if you could guess which picture it was.
Whoa.
And like my buddy was like, yeah, nobody could do it. Like, it didn't work.
That was gonna
But
be my first question, is like, did anybody ever even guess it right?
Yeah, and once you were in the group long enough, he gave you a wand. So I was like, and eventually, like, as I got to know my boss better, we became closer friends. He was like, yeah, like, do you want to go? And I was like, yes. Well, I was like begging him too. I was like, please let me go. Please let me go. Please, 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 please. Please let me go. I want to go to the Bigfoot meeting so bad. Please. And he was like, fine. And so he took me there. And what ended up happening was I meet this guy. He's like nice or whatever. He's got like statues of Bigfoot all over, but he's like also has clearly been putting his hats on them. Like there's like
they're a coat rack.
So it'll be like Bigfoot, like a pretty big Bigfoot statue with like a leather driver cap on or something like that. It was pretty funny.
That's fun.
And his dog was there, and his dog was like clearly like kind of old and like had lost like the ability to like use her back legs very well.
Poor pupper.
And so she's like dragging her ass around like the entire house, like walking.
She didn't have any of the wheels?
No, I'm like, dude, get this fucking dog a wheelchair, dude. It was bad. And it's so this dog is just dragging his ass around, and like we go and we're like doing the meeting, you know, and I'm stoked, dude. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. And he's like showing us, like, so from his property, he has trail cams everywhere. And so his whole thing was that Bigfoot loves pears, and there were no pear trees. So he would like tie pears on strings to the trees. And like, so you know, if you've ever seen like a trail cam footage at night, like, it'll be like the silhouette of a tree in the trail cam.
Yeah. And
then there'll just be like a pear, like clearly like a pear tied to a string, like hanging down. In the silhouette of the
no
tree.
offense, but how stupid does he think the Bigfoot is? Like, like, if they like pears, don't you think they'd know if there was a pear tree there?
Dude.
You know, they just see one lone pear tied to a string. They're like, what kind of trap is this? Like, why did somebody tie a pear to a tree?
Funny. And he would also tie lifesavers candies.
What?
Like, yeah, he was like,
like
yeah,
a necklace of candy.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess if they like it, they like it. I mean, if they, I don't know. I feel like his interpretation of Bigfoot is a little not what I think of as my interpretation of Bigfoot. I think they got to be a little smarter than he's giving him credit for.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like that's stupid. If they're able to hide, like let's say they're real and they've been hiding from people for decades.
Yeah.
Decades. You think they're going to fall for the pear tied to a string? They've been hiding from people for decades. But they're going to grab the pear up the string.
Yeah, dude. No, that is true. I never thought. I thought that it was faulty from the beginning. When I first heard about it, I was like, well, that's not going to work.
You're like, this isn't a very official way to capture a Bigfoot. I've seen like roast beefs. I've seen whole hogs. Never have I ever once heard pears.
There's a reason why you can only get his footprints, buddy.
Yeah. He's always running away.
No, but dude, then after that, we watched some footage from the investigation that they had done of the house, the paranormal thing, and it was fine. Like, it was like whatever. It's kind of how all those things were, like all those things are, where it's like it'll be like recording like an empty house, and there'll be like a creak, and they'll be like, "Did you hear that? I'll slow it down for you." And then they slow down the audio so much that it's like, yeah, of course this creak sounds like something completely different now. It's like you've slowed it down to,
the creek starts talking in tongues.
Yeah, it's going at like 1/10 of the speed or whatever. So it's like, yeah, of course it sounds like somebody's name now.
Yeah.
He's like, strange. You hear it? It's Derek, because it's like, Derek. Derek.
You know how most people say Derek.
Yeah, he's like, that sounds like Derek to me.
That's how I always hear it. My mom's always going like, Derek.
Yeah. And so it was a lot of that. But then, dude, the whole thing, though, was he had this fridge in his garage that was full of beers, like all these different kinds of beers from all over the world. And he had like frosted mugs in the freezer. And he was like, the only rule is you got to grab a new beer, or he's like, you got to get a new mug every time you get a beer. And I was like, That's sick, dude. Like, I didn't drive here. Like, that's fine. But I didn't go crazy, dude. Like, and he ordered in wings, and I did eat like a wing that, like the last onion ring. And he was like, I was saving that for my wife. I ate the last onion ring. And he was like, that was for my wife.
Did he stop the party? He was like, hey, guys, like somebody ate this. Or did he see you do it? He saw you do it?
He saw me take it, and he was like, I was saving that for my wife. And I was like, oh, I'll put it. And he was like, it's fine. And I was like, okay. It's like, okay, sir.
I'm going to eat it now. He just watches you eat it the whole time. He's like, man, chew it a couple more times than that. No more. Like, my wife would have chewed it at least 20 times.
Yeah. He's like, God. Yeah, dude. So I think that maybe upset him. But I had like maybe like 4 beers over the span of like a few hours, like probably like 2 hours, maybe over that. Yeah. That we were there. We like smoked some cigars or whatever. And he was also drinking.
Yeah, of course. Sounds like he was having a party.
He sent me a text the next day, or like maybe it was like a couple days later, and was basically like, you drank too much and it didn't have any effect on you. And so I think you're an alcoholic, and you're not allowed to come back.
That's crazy. I can't believe that's actually true.
He's like, I'm rescinding your like ability. It was like way longer than that. And honestly, like, it did seem like he was like legitimately concerned. Like, I don't have like necessarily like a grudge against him. Like, yeah, I do think that he was coming from like a legitimate place, but it is crazy to like meet somebody one time and then
they call you an alcoholic
and then be like, you drink too much.
You don't know anything about me.
Yeah. And what's so funny is at this point in time, I haven't drank in an entire year, but then in the past I've gone like whole entire like years without drinking alcohol at all. Like, I don't, I do think that, I was drinking a lot at that time. Like, I was drinking a little more heavily, but
I mean, he also had cooled beer mugs, and you got to get a new cooled mug.
That was the only rule, motherfucker. What rule did I break?
Nice.
What rule did I break?
Yeah.
Having too good of a time? Is it having too good of a time? Is that what the rule was that I broke?
I think he's really just mad about the onion ring. I feel like it's just that one
Dude,
thing.
I do think that it was
it's
about
just
the
that.
onion ring, kind of. Did he his wife's onion ring?
You know what we should do? We should send him as a gift to make up for it some of that arachnid lotion.
Oh, yeah,
He's actually probably
dude.
somebody who would like that.
Yeah.
What if it attracts Bigfoot too?
Whoa.
Bro, we're maybe onto something.
Uh-oh, looks like we just came up with a pretty good idea. We have reached the end of the podcast, though, dude.
Oh,
we
sweet.
did it.
Nice.
We did the whole thing.
great.
Where can people find your stuff? Where are you?
They can find me probably easiest on Instagram or YouTube. Let's Goof, Zach Huber.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the easiest.
Highly
places.
recommend checking out Zach's stuff.
Thanks,
One of my goodest, oldest pals. Very talented guy.
Thanks, man.
As always, you can find this podcast at jakin.off.podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and send anything at all to jakin.off.podcast@gmail.com. And I'll look at it at least one time. I'll look at it once. No guarantees more than that. But yeah, that's it. It's all over. Anything else you want to say? I feel like this did kind of a screech to a halt.
It was perfect. No, I felt like it actually came to a nice close. You know?
Yeah.
We talked about everything there's to talk. We talked about the arachnid lotion. We talked about comedy.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Of course, man.
I love you. And I love you. I love you. Goodbye. Nice.